Ladies and gentlemen, my proposal is to start this press conference, and as I do this as the chair of the Brexit Steering Group, who, as you know, follows inside the European Parliament the Brexit negotiations, and I'm here together with Elmar Brok and Roberto Gualtieri and Gabi Zimmer, also in the spiritual presence of Philippe Lamberts, who is not here, who attended our meeting naturally by phone today. And I have to know what we have decided to do is we agreed on a proposal of a resolution that will be introduced first of all to the COP, the Conference of Presidents, today, and that after the approval of the COP will be sent to the plenary of the European Parliament on Monday, so next week, and that will be discussed in the European Parliament, in the plenary of the European Parliament on Wednesday, and afterwards, also on Wednesday, will be voted in the plenary. This resolution is the third resolution of the European Parliament, and it makes an assessment of the state of the negotiations between the United Kingdom and the European Union, and is an assessment that is positive in the sense that we conclude in the resolution, in the first part, that a lot of requests that the Parliament has put forward have been achieved in this negotiation. And you can find in the progress report of both negotiating parties. On citizens' rights, and it was crucial for us, all rights and all benefits will be covered. So no exceptions for some of the benefits, no exceptions of some of the citizens of, for example, family of the European citizens. Also, there is no mention anymore of something that, in our point of view, was hugely critical, the so-called settled status that the UK side offered. Important is also that there will be direct effect of these rights in the UK and in UK law, and that there is also a role of the ECJ, of the European Court of Justice, and when the European Court of Justice is acting, is deciding that this opinion is binding inside the UK legal system. Secondly, on financial settlement, all obligations will be covered, as indicated also in the first resolution of the European Parliament at the beginning. And finally, on Ireland, no hardening of the border. A system of regulatory alignment will be in place, and the Good Friday Agreement in all its parts will be respected. So our recommendation to the European Council is now to go to phase 2 of the negotiations. And that will be an important statement by the European Parliament in the resolution next week. Nevertheless, the resolution will also enlighten you and mention a number of outstanding issues that, in our point of view, needs to be tackled before an orderly withdrawal of the United Kingdom from the European Union. And that for us are key to give our consent on the withdrawal agreement, because you know how the procedure will be. From now on, once in phase 2, the withdrawal agreement needs to be written down. And we want that 5 outstanding issues are dealt with by doing so, by detailing this withdrawal agreement. And these 5 outstanding issues are the following. The first is that the coverage of the citizens' rights needs also to be extended to future partners. It can be sponsors, it can be other partners, but it needs to be extended to future partners. The second is that we want to be sure that in the withdrawal agreement there is a light touch, declaratory in nature procedure, free of charge for the citizens, and placing in fact the proof, the burden of proof on the Home Office, on the UK authorities to challenge the declaration, and also a procedure that makes it possible that a family initiates the procedure with one single form. So if there are 3 children, men and women, not 5 forms, 1 form. The third is that we want to be sure that in practice the CGEU, so the decisions by the European Court in relation to the interpretation of the citizens' rights, is binding. In all opinion, it's binding already in the progress report as it is written down today. But we are 100% sure that it is also the case, not in the written report, but also in the withdrawal agreement itself. And also that there is an important role for the future independent national authority, the so-called ombudsman, that will be created in the UK to act and to give a follow-up to the complaints of the citizens.
Including go to court for them.
Including to go to court if it is necessary. The fourth outstanding issue on this is guaranteeing naturally the free movement also of the UK citizens in the 27 member states in the EU who are currently residing in the EU 27. Because we have always said we are not only defending the rights of the EU citizens living in Britain, we are also defending the rights of the UK citizens living on the continent. And we need to be sure that there is freedom of residence and movement for these UK citizens in the whole 27. And finally, also ensuring that the commitments that are made with respect to Northern Ireland and Ireland are fully enforceable. So we are very pleased with everything what is read in the progress report on Northern Ireland, but we want to be sure that these commitments are also enforceable in practice by provisions in the withdrawal agreement. So our recommendation to the Council is based on this to go into phase 2 of the negotiations. Secondly, in any way to understand and take note of the fact that there are in all 5 outstanding issues and concerns that need to be addressed in the withdrawal agreement itself, and that will be for the Parliament essential before giving our consent to that agreement. Finally, and very short, because you're going to read it and we're going to come back to this, on the future, what you're going to see in the resolution, that Parliament also give a first framework of how the future relationship with the UK could be. We recall the idea of the association agreement, the 4 pillars in such an agreement, and we also, you're going to find it in the resolution, the 8 principles on which, in our point of view, such an agreement and such a close partnership with the UK should be established. Finally, you will find also in the same resolution next week on the table of the European Parliament our opinion about the transition. Transition for us means that the full acquis, as we call it, will be applicable in this period of transition, with all the oversights that exist, budgetary oversight, financial oversight, legal oversight, and so on. So for us, no possibility to start picking and choosing inside the acquis during the transition. So that's the summary. We have also got this morning, I have to tell you that the debriefing by Michel Barnier and by his whole team. We have congratulated him also for this progress report. And I think it's very important that next week the Parliament, as the first institution, will give his recommendation to go to phase 2, but also will already indicate the outstanding points to be addressed before the agreement can be put in action after the approval by the Parliament.